Buddy, hope everyone's okay. So it's been a long time seeing a reaction of Phase 7 on June. Phase 7! Woo! So today we're going to reaction to JTVideos MCU Phase 8. The first part. Yes. Today the part 1 is Scarlet, the first portrait of Phase 8. Yeah. And what else I can say? Well, when I began the video, I don't know what I can say, but I'm watching last couple of reaction of the video represent you. I've been watching on my playlist, but make sure to check out the playlist at the end of the video you can, and yeah. So we're going to do the part 1 today and then end the final parts of Phase 8 next Tuesday. But if you got time, so yeah, so enough of that talk now. So 1, 2, 3 reactions, so just down with us. Talk down with us.
Lucy. Lucy.
It's not Ben anymore.
We've dropped the fees so you can focus on the new gym feels. For a limited time only, pay no joining fee at Pure Gym. Start today and get that feel good flowing.
I need them to do. Tell them what to react.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Rebooted MCU. Today we are here with the start of Phase 8 Part 1. I know we have taken a long time to get here. It's been 2 years since we started this series, but it's finally almost come to an end. And that starts today with the beginning of Phase 8, where we'll really get into the monster side of the Multiverse and Monster Saga. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump in to the phase. Phase 8 Part 1 is the Scarlet Witch, and it takes place in Universe 2035. The project opens inside the home of Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, played by Elizabeth Olsen, and Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, played by Dev Patel, exactly 1 year after the events of the Young Avengers. Wanda and Simon prepare a meal in the kitchen while Tommy Maximoff, aka Speed, played by Jacob Tremblay, sits in the living room with his uncle, Pietro Maximoff, aka Quicksilver, played by Evan Peters, and asks him about dating advice as we see him struggling to flirt via text with Kamala Khan. The front door of the home opens as Billy Maximoff, aka Wiccan, played by Joe Locke, enters along with his new boyfriend, King Doric, aka Hulkling, played by Nicholas Hamilton, who has shapeshifted into his Teddy Altman persona. Following the Young Avengers, Billy and Hulkling began talking with one another regularly, resulting in the two forming a romance that has seen Billy take multiple trips to the planet Skrullos. The happy atmosphere continues as Wanda calls for her family to take a seat at the table for dinner, culminating in the family's pre-meal tradition. Going around the table and saying what each member is thankful for. The dinner shows how happy everyone is, especially Wanda, who has finally accepted and processed Magneto's death, an event that has brought her closer to her family than ever before. The cheerful discussions around the table come to an abrupt halt, however, as the family hears an unexpected knock at the door. Simon opens the front door as we see two men, one wearing a red hood and the other a dark black biker jacket. The man in the red hood introduces himself as Parker Robbins, played by Anthony Ramos, and his associate is Jonathan Blaze, played by Omari Hardwick, saying that they need to speak with Wanda Maximoff. Wanda walks to the door as Robbins informs her that their boss, the King of Hell, has requested to speak with her immediately. Wanda scoffs at this idea, believing that the two are simply pranksters, a notion shot down by Blaze, who warns Wanda not to make the duo bring her in by force. Wanda's eyes begin glowing scarlet as she asks the duo if they really want to threaten her and her family like this. Robbins and Blaze look at each other as Robbins drops his hood and fires an energy blast at Simon and Wanda. Simon and Wanda quickly fight with Robbins, who is able to move with impressive speed but ultimately falls to the ground after Wanda hits him with a chaos magic blast. In the midst of the chaos, we hear Billy call for help from the dining room, as Wanda and Simon turn to see Blaze, whose head now resembles that of a fiery skull, has trapped Billy, Tommy, Pietro, and Teddy with a demonic-looking chain. Blaze tells Wanda that if she does anything rash, he will burn her family to death with hellfire. Fire equal in power to that of soul fire, capable of burning even supernatural beings to death in an instant. Wanda and Simon stand as Wanda agrees to meet with the King of Hell. We watch as the group exits the home, and as Robin chants an incantation that forms a small opening in the ground, the group enters as the title card appears. We watch as Robbins and Blaze lead Wanda and her family through the Hell Dimension, the dimension that resides under Earth and is where the souls of those whose lives were filled with sin and evil reside when they die. As the group passes through the first circle of Hell named Limbo, we see a large number of winged creatures that make up the group known as the Fallen Angels, a personal army who work on behalf of the King of Hell, led by Zadkiel, played by Axel Henny, and is overseen by the new third-in-command under the King of Hell, Asmodeus, played by Jamie Foxx, the man who replaced Satan after his untimely demise. The group then makes their way to the second circle of Hell, Lust, home to the second-in-command under the King of Hell, Lucifer, played by Matthew McConaughey, the demon in charge of overseeing those who serve as agents for the King of Hell in the Prime Dimension. Lucifer praises the work of both Blaze and Ramos and joins the group as they continue to ascend to the third circle of Hell, Gluttony. Gluttony is home to the man known as the King of Hell. And as the group enters his domain, they are greeted by his children, Blackheart, played by Connor Swindles, Malevolence, played by Maya Hawke, and finally, the being aptly named the King of Hell, Mephisto, played by Wes Bentley.
One day, I'm going to be a soldier or a sailor.
Well, look who it is. I was worried my employees would have a hard time bringing you here, Miss Wanda Maximoff. What do you want with me? Why are you threatening my family? I'm a shrewd businessman, and I have my methods. And they have been proven effective time and time again. I like to think that I know my clients' weaknesses better than they know themselves. But don't worry, I'm a man of my word. If you comply with my propositions, I won't lay a finger on your precious family. Wanda's eyes begin to grow scarlet in anger as Mephisto leaps from his seat. Oh yes, I love that spirit, but trust me, you do not want to do that. You are strong, yes, and hell, you could even surpass me one day. But for now, you are still no match for me. So make one wrong step, Scarlet Witch, and I'm afraid I won't be able to keep my end of our deal. And boy, I'd hate to kill two promising young men such as these right here. Wanda, calm down. Don't do anything. We're in no position to act out of line. Wanda's eyes return to normal as Mephisto sits down once more. It's okay. I understand you, Wanda. You are the Scarlet Witch after all. You're a natural-born killer. It's in your DNA to want to murder me in cold blood as I sit before you. Why are you shouting this nonsense? Both you and I know that's not true, especially if you claim to know me as well as you do. Oh, is that so? Then how can you explain this? Mephisto hits a button that causes a picture to pop up on a screen above his throne. On it, we watch as Mephisto plays the moment that Wanda murdered Hawkeye. Stop it, that wasn't me. Clint Barton, kid in a rough childhood, but turned out to be pretty important, especially to his wife and his mentee. I know he was, but that was not me that killed him. Oh, really? Let's run the tape back. Watch as Mephisto replays the scene of Wanda killing Hawkeye over and over, with Wanda getting more and more upset each time, eventually breaking down to tears. I'm begging you, please stop. My children are here. I don't want them to fear their mother, especially when that wasn't me. How many times must I show this? Who are you trying to convince, me or yourself? You killed him, Scarlet Witch. You broke the heart of the love of his life and pierced his with an arrow. Wanda finally falls to her knees and begins weeping. Stop! It wasn't me! It was all because of Chthon! Mephisto stands and stops the recording. Oh yes, now we're getting somewhere. Mephisto explains that he used to be a follower of Chthon, but since Wanda took him out, he is now seen as a new ruler of darkness by those who once praised Chthon, also revealing that Chthon never understood Wanda's potential, with Mephisto claiming that he always believed Chthon's interpretation of the prophecy of the Scarlet Witch was blatantly wrong. We watch as Mephisto picks up the Darkhold, which Robin's recovered from Salem following the events of the birth of the Scarlet Witch, and reads to the group the prophecy of the Scarlet Witch, a vision that appeared to Chthon one day while he was in the midst of planning to destroy the Earth. A child will one day be born, endowed with the innate power of chaos. She will arrive donning a crown and a dress of scarlet, and her power will overcome the land. Her purpose will be to create the world anew. When destruction and decay befalls the land, she will appear. When all feel nothing but despair, she will emerge. Through her power, all will be spared. Mephisto explains that Chthon believed that the Scarlet Witch would create a new world in his likeness as his herald, but Mephisto believed this was Chthon being selfish, proving that the prophecy is the very reason he called Wanda here today. Mephisto explains that his most powerful client, the King of the Vampires, is set to unleash his reign upon Earth in a matter of years, but due to Mephisto's lust for chaos, he wanted to see if Wanda would be capable of destroying him in combat, a scenario he believes would cause absolute chaos to fall on Earth. Mephisto offers Wanda a spot as his servant. In exchange for killing the King of the Vampires, Wanda will become known as Mephisto's Agent of Chaos, and through his resources, Mephisto will help her grow into the most powerful being in the universe, one capable of allowing her and her family to live together forever. While Wanda contemplates the thought of her family never having to die, she proceeds to refuse, something that Mephisto claims he saw coming. It admits that he got ahead of himself. Blaze and Robbins lead Billy, Tommy, Pietro, and Teddy inside of a cage that becomes engulfed in Hellflame, as Simon screams at Mephisto, demanding to know what he's going to do with their family. Mephisto tells Wanda that if she wants her family back, she'll need to complete his game, and also encourages her to reconsider his offer. Wanda screams at Mephisto to explain, but suddenly, we watch as Mephisto raises his hand as both Wanda and Simon are knocked out, with the portal opening beneath them that drops them further into the depths of hell. As Mephisto cackles, Blaze speaks up, asking if he can finally discuss the terms of the bargain he made with Mephisto. Wanda slowly awakens with an unconscious Simon laying next to her in an unknown area. The amount of time that has passed is indiscernible, and the surrounding area is creepy, having the appearance of a forest set ablaze. As Wanda shakes Simon awake, we watch as marauders surround the duo, with the leader shouting that it appears members of the living have found themselves in hell. The leader demands that Wanda and Simon hand over all their valuables, but before they can trouble the duo anymore, we watch as a man walks up and scares off the marauders, threatening to unleash hell on the miscreants. As the marauders ride off, the man introduces himself to Wanda and Simon as Craig Crash Simpson, played by Bruce Campbell, and welcomes the duo to the 8th circle of hell known as Fraud, a lawless land where residents of hell seek to gather blood diamonds, the currency of hell, that they can exchange for food and housing in the 7th circle of hell. Wanda explains what happened to Simpson and asks him if he knows anything about Mephisto's game. Crash says he has heard of the game before but doesn't know specifics, but offers to transport the duo to the 7th circle of hell, where there is someone who would know more about the game than he. As the trio travel Fraud, Simon asks Crash how the marauders were able to recognize that he and Wanda were not dead, with Crash revealing that the right hand of all the deceased are painted a permanent charred black color. And because Wanda and Simon had a normal right hand, it was a dead giveaway. As Wanda and Simon think about all the weird nuances of hell, Crash leads them up a staircase to the 7th circle of hell, otherwise known as Violence. As the group arrives in Violence, we see the area is populated with dingy buildings which look like they could fall apart at any moment. But hey, at least it appears civilized. Crash leads the duo into the Big Top Bar, the social epicenter of Violence, and as they enter, the trio is screened by the bar's bouncer, Jacques Duquesne, aka Swordsman, played by Tony Dalton. And as the group walks towards the bar, they pass the raging drunk of Violence, Ulysses Claw, played by Ralph Fiennes, who's laying face down on the table in a drunken stupor, rambling about that damn panther. As the trio sit at the bar, they are greeted by the bar's proprietor, Maynard Tybalt, aka Ringmaster, played by Jim Carrey, who gives the group each a shot of bourbon in exchange for 3 blood diamonds from Crash, and asks Wanda and Simon how 2 living souls ended up in hell. Simon explains that they were just enjoying a family dinner when 2 men named Robbins and Blaze showed up at their door. The mention of the name Blaze appears to catch Crash's attention. After Simon explains the story, Wanda asks Ringmaster what he knows about Mephisto's game, saying that she has to win in order to get back her family. Maynard explains that the game takes place on the 6th, 5th, and 4th circles of hell. The specifics of the challenges are unknown. What is known is that very few dare take the challenge, especially because only one individual has successfully completed it. Further, the stakes are raised to an unfathomable level for those who are inhabitants of hell, because while it might not be as perplexing for Wanda and Simon, if a deceased individual dies in hell, their soul is erased from existence. When someone dies in the Prime Dimension, their soul takes on a new physical form in hell, but if that physical form is killed, the soul no longer has a place to traverse and is extinguished along with the body of the deceased. Simon gulps down his drink as Wanda stands and thanks Maynard for the advice, and says that she will not be deterred from the challenge, especially when her family is on the line. As Crash prepares to show Wanda and Simon the entrance to the 6th Circle of Hell, Maynard calls to the group and tells Wanda and Simon to stab anybody with the initials BB if they manage to escape from hell. As the group arrive at the entrance to the 6th Circle of Hell, Crash wishes them luck and also mentions that he overheard Simon mention a man with the name Blaze as one of the people who brought them to hell, and hands Wanda something to give to him if they manage to complete the game.
Why?
Wanda looks down at the item, which is revealed to be a brown biker patch that reads Crash Simpson's Daredevil Biker Show. And as Crash walks away, we see Simon and Wanda enter the 6th Circle of Hell, Heresy. Heresy resembles a field, constantly on fire and filled with warfare. Simon and Wanda traverse the war-torn area as we see the deceased fighting with each other as slain bodies have painted the ground red. Simon asks Wanda what kind of twisted game Mephisto could want her to play, but Wanda tells Simon not to look at the carnage and to keep moving forward to the next staircase. After a bit of traversing, the duo spot the entrance to the 5th Circle of Hell, but before they can reach it, we watch as Simon is hit with a blast of magic that sends him flying. As Wanda turns to assess the situation, she spots the familiar faces of Agatha Harkness, played by Catherine Hahn, Morgan Le Fay, played by Aubrey Plaza, and Amanda Sefton, played by Amy Poehler, the witches who helped bring about the Golden Awakening and created mutants around the world. Agatha cackles at Wanda, telling her that it has been a while since she and her friends sent her to hell. Enough time for Agatha and her friends to discuss every possible method of torture they can use on her. Simon returns to Wanda, telling her that they need to escape now, but as they attempt to run, LaFay cackles, revealing that the witches placed a barrier spell on the entrance to the 5th Circle of Hell, Anger, and if they want to continue on, they'll need to recover something from them. Wanda watches as Agatha removes 3 pages of the Darkhold from her cloak, as she tells Wanda that the pages she holds are the key to removing the barrier, and also holds the spell that will allow Wanda to enter and leave dimensions as she pleases through the use of chaos magic. Further, Agatha reveals that while Wanda might have finally realized she is a Scarlet Witch, she is not capable of unlocking her true power unless she learns her most powerful techniques, which are all torn from the Darkhold, in total 10. Agatha reveals that she has 3, while Mephisto has 3, and 4 are unaccounted for. Wanda says that she doesn't need to reach her potential, but does need the pages held by Agatha so she can rescue her family. Agatha hands a page apiece to LaFay and Sefton, with Sefton telling Wanda that if she wants to get the pages, she'll need to kill the 3. Simon attempts to help Wanda fight back against the witches, but Wanda tells Simon not to interfere as she needs to handle this on her own, as we see the thought of Mephisto calling her a killer weighing heavily on her mind. After a few minutes of fighting, we watch as Wanda manages to subdue the 3 witches using her incredible power, and for her own peace of mind manages to incapacitate them and not kill them. We watch as Wanda quickly reads over the 3 pages of the Darkhold and manages to release the barrier spell within a matter of seconds. As the duo walk the staircase to the 5th Circle of Hell, Simon comments about how quickly Wanda was able to learn and master the spells from the Darkhold, with Wanda acknowledging that learning spells comes naturally to her, as she managed to memorize nearly all of the Darkhold within a few hours. As Wanda and Simon climb the staircase, we cut back into the 3rd Circle of Hell as we see Mephisto promising Blaze that he has kept his end of their bargain, and thanks him for his work. In the cell, we watch as Pietro is quietly scheming with the group about how they can escape. Wiccan surmises that he can use his magic to break them out of their cage, which will allow Hulkling to use his strength, while Speed and Quicksilver can use their speed to incapacitate the enemies. Mephisto tells Wiccan that he has eyes and ears everywhere, and that if this group should attempt to escape, he will kill them all, personally. As the 4 quiet down, Mephisto tells them that they should have faith in their dear mother, as she has gotten closer than anyone outside of the man named Justin Drake has before. Lucifer laughs and tells Mephisto that saying that name out loud has brought back memories. causing Mephisto to reminisce about when the first and only person completed his game. The Hell Dimension was once ruled by a single entity until 7 followers of the newly defeated Elder God Chthon showed up in the Hell Dimension. Their leader Mephisto, Lucifer, Satan, Asmodeus, Beelzebub, Belasco, and Doxer. Demons had just begun to populate the earth. As you see, demons are merely those who followed Chthon and were granted demonic powers prior to his defeat. Chthon's Darkhold would lead to the creation of many dark monsters, such as vampires and werewolves, and also brought about witches who would learn these spells and release chaos on the world. One day, a man who had been bitten by a vampire named Justin Drake encountered the first Ghost Rider, the man known as Mark Todd, aka the Blazing Skull, played by Martin Cove, and demanded that he be brought to the King of Hell. When Todd refused, Drake killed him and dragged his corpse down to the 3rd circle of Hell. Mephisto promised Drake that he would listen to his demands if he managed to traverse the game, where he would encounter treacherous foes of unimaginable strength. Drake did this, and his final challenge was a duel with Beelzebub, Belasco, and Doxer, 3 incredibly powerful demons who Drake defeated without trouble. Because of this feat, Mephisto agreed to help Drake on his quest to become the most powerful vampire and overthrow the king of the vampires, Varney.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words,
Mephisto says that Drake used the power given to him and became the new king of the vampires. But even with his impressive strength, he believes that Wanda has even more destructive potential to rain chaos on Earth. Speed tells Mephisto to quit acting like he knows their mom, prompting Blackheart to snap at Speed to be quiet. Mephisto tells his son not to speak unless permitted, and tells Speed that his mother's final tests will show her true intentions. In anger, the 5th circle of Hell, we watch as Wanda and Simon look around at various discarded objects that lie around the room, which resembles that of a treasure vault. Simon notices artifacts such as Claw's Sonic Converter, Jester's Crane, Ajax Axes, and Mr. Fear's mask. Simon asks Wanda how she thinks all these artifacts ended up here, with Wanda saying that if the outcome of the game led many to death, these are likely items Mephisto had no use for after the people using them died during his challenge. Wanda suddenly spots a book with a yellow and pink cover that reads The Book of Vishanti. Wanda places the book in her cloak while thinking about her old mentor and friend, Strange. Suddenly, a loud sound similar to that of a rolling boulder fills the room. As Wanda and Simon notice, the staircase leading towards the 4th circle of Hell, Greed, opens, as Wanda and Simon climb towards the final part of Mephisto's game. Mephisto smiles as Robbins asks Mephisto if Wanda has managed to reach the 4th circle. Mephisto laughs, saying that she has almost completed his game, but she's about to face the monster she killed years ago. Robbins asks if this is why he was sent to recover that pesky Carnage symbiote from New York back in 2031, causing Mephisto to smile. Greed is a dark area, with the only light in the room being that of the staircase that leads back to the 3rd circle of Hell and the end of the game. Simon encourages Wanda to get out of here when suddenly an ominous voice fills the room. Wanda's face turns pale as the monster reveals himself to be none other than En Sabah Nur, otherwise known as Apocalypse, voiced by Javier Bardem, who says it has been a while since he saw his Horsemen of Conquest. Wanda tells Apocalypse that she has no intention of fighting him, and that he should want to engage her, especially since he knows of the deep wells of power that she has. Apocalypse acknowledges this, saying that he refused to unlock all of her power during the events of X-Men Apocalypse because he knew that she could kill him if fully awakened, but now claims that he wants to see if she can back all that talk up. Apocalypse says in order for her to exit Hell, she'll need to kill him, and do so without the help of the wicked woman who absorbed his powers the last time they fought. Wanda tells Apocalypse that she isn't a killer, and won't be able to kill him, prompting Apocalypse's eyes to glow blue as he screams that she has no choice. As the lights flash on in the room, Wanda and Simon are shocked to find that 4 other figures have joined Apocalypse in the finale of Mephisto's game. The Horsemen of Conquest, Yuriko Oyama, aka Lady Deathstrike, played by Lucy Liu, the Horseman of Famine, Klaus Voorhees, aka King Cobra, played by Sam Spurrell, the Horseman of War, Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, played by Ben Foster, the Horseman of Death, the brother of Simon, Eric Williams, aka Grim Reaper, played by Raul Coley. The final fight sees Wanda take on Apocalypse while Simon deals with the four horsemen, including a very somber reunion with his brother, who encourages Simon to use the power created by their father to bring down the men who killed him, the Magia. While Simon manages to knock out the four horsemen, Wanda struggles against Apocalypse, who continually gets back up despite the massive blows of chaos magic levied by Wanda. Apocalypse begins going on the offensive, landing massive punches on Wanda that cause her to bleed from her mouth, as he shouts about how he has longed to snap Wanda's neck ever since the day she destroyed his body and prevented him from ruling above all. Wanda's body acts like jelly as Apocalypse lands a hit so powerful that Wanda falls to the ground, her body unable to move. As Apocalypse prepares to crush her skull, we watch as Wonder Man in his ionic form grabs Apocalypse's hand and pushes him away. However, in a sudden and unexpected twist, watch as Apocalypse grabs Simon by the neck as he falls out of his ionic form. Apocalypse screams at Wanda, telling her that if she refuses to get up and face him in a fight to the death, he will snap the neck of her most beloved. As Wanda fights to get up, she has a flashback to one of her father's many visits to the Maximoff farm in Iowa when she was a kid, as we see a younger Eric Lenscher, played by Jason Isaacs, sitting on the front porch swing with Wanda, played by Michaela Russell, and Pietro, played by Gabriel Gurvich, telling them about the horrors he experienced when he came to the United States because of anti-Semitism, and how their grandmother was killed by those who disliked their religion. Pietro cried at the story, while Wanda asks her father what stops people from becoming killers like those who killed her grandma, pointedly asking him what could cause her to be like them. Eric smiles and reminds Wanda of the meaning of her name, Shepherdess, a name that encapsulates Wanda's purpose in the world. He tells her that like a shepherdess, Wanda has a kind heart, a heart that is meant to protect and look after those she cares for. And because of that, he knows she could never be a killer. Wanda asks her father what she needs to look after, causing Eric to laugh and pat her on the head, saying that she'll protect those she loves. But that would be a story for another day. We watch as Wanda struggles to stand, with images of Pietro, Eric, Simon, Billy, and Tommy racing through her mind. Apocalypse notices this and drops Simon, as Wanda's eyes glow a bright scarlet. We watch as Wanda thrashes Apocalypse around, treating him more like a plastic bag than a mutant of unfathomable power. Wanda manages to get Apocalypse in the same position she had him in during X-Men Apocalypse, on the brink of wiping his very being from existence. Apocalypse goats her, telling her to finish him off and show that she truly is worthy of being called his killer. As Wanda holds him, the image of Hawkeye's death continuously plays in her head, before she stops and thinks of her family and those who love her. With a clear head, we watch as Wanda slams Apocalypse to the ground, knocking him out, but not killing him. As Wanda stands, realizing that she won Mephisto's game, we see Simon stand and applaud his wife as the two embrace and kiss. This is when Wanda asks Simon why he didn't take out Apocalypse himself, revealing that she knew Simon in his ionic form was more than capable of killing Apocalypse without breaking a sweat. Simon laughs, saying that not only was this not his fight to win, but he also knew Wanda needed to reassure herself that she isn't a killer. Wanda looks shocked, asking Simon if he truly knew that she would not be able to kill Apocalypse, but Simon saying he knows, as the woman he loves has too beautiful of a heart to let anger or malice control her. As Wanda smiles, he watches the duo make their way back towards the third circle of hell, Gluttony. As Wanda and Simon re-enter Mephisto's domain, he stands and applauds Wanda for being only the second person to complete his challenge and proving herself to truly be worthy of becoming his new prized client. Wanda's eyes glow a bright scarlet as she uses her magic to both break open the cage holding her family while also launching a blast that sends Lucifer crashing into the wall. Simon incapacitates Robbins as the freed Wiccan launches an energy projectile that knocks out Malevolence, while Hulkling places Blackheart in a chokehold. Blaze's skull catches on fire as his chain wraps around Wanda. He tells her to calm down or he will kill her in a matter of seconds. Wanda's eyes return to normal as she tells Blaze that she has something that might interest him, managing to remove the biker patch from her pocket and dropping it on the ground for Blaze to see. The chain drops from around Wanda as Mephisto stands and tells Wanda that she has already proven her power and she does not need to roughen up his compatriots trying to prove a point. Suddenly, watch as Blaze wails as he screams at Mephisto, calling him a liar and saying that he failed to keep his end of the bargain. Mephisto looks confused as Blaze launches his chain at Mephisto, wrapping it around him and unleashing hellfire that burns Mephisto. In the midst of the chaos, Wanda gathers her family as they make an escape through the use of the dimension-exiting spell found on the pages of the Darkhold she recovered from Agatha. We then watch as the family suddenly finds themselves back in California, standing in the front yard of their home. We watch as Wanda, Simon, Billy, Tommy, Pietro, and Hulkling return to the dining room and sit in silence, all in shock over the events that just occurred. Wanda speaks up, saying that while dinner was ruined, she is filled by the love she has for her family. She looks around the table and says there's nothing in the world she wouldn't do to protect them, that they are the reason her heart is full and her life has purpose. As they all smile back, Wanda then says that today made her realize that she needs to grow, that she needs to work harder in order to protect her family, but asks that they all help her grow by training with her, resulting in everyone responding with a resounding yes. Wanda turns to Simon, smiles, and tells him that perhaps the prophecy of the Scarlet Witch will come true. One day, when her family needs her, the true power and purpose of the Scarlet Witch will be shown. She will act to protect and look over her family.
Aveeno Baby Demexa, formulated with triple oak complex and ceramides, clinically proven to soothe dry and itchy skin, also suitable for babies who may be
like a shepherdess. In the first post-credit scene, we watch as Wanda returns to Camartage in order to finally apologize to her former mentor, Stephen Strange, aka Doctor Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, for everything that happened during the events of the birth of the Scarlet Witch. While Strange cautiously accepts her apology, Wanda hands Strange the Book of Vishanti, saying that she thought the most powerful sorcerer in the world would find a book filled with the most powerful light-side spells known to man useful in his training. In the second post-credits scene, NYPD trooper Stacy Dolan, played by Jordana Brewster, pulls up to a home with loud music blasting from the inside. As she knocks on the door, it is answered by the Ketch siblings. Barbara Ketch, played by Patricia Allison, and Danny Ketch, played by Kadur Williams Sterling. Dolan tells the siblings that she has received a noise complaint, the 5th complaint she has received involving the children this month. Danny apologizes and tells Dolan that, like always, she just seems to ruin their fun. Dolan rolls her eyes and asks the duo where their legal guardian, Johnny Blaze, is, with Barbara saying that she has no idea. Dolan encourages the duo to lower the volume and stay out of trouble, emphasizing that the boogeyman might visit them if they don't behave. Danny laughs, telling Dolan that they aren't 5 years old anymore, as he shuts the door. And that is the Scarlet Witch,
So that's the Scarlet Witch finish, yeah, so that's part 1 finish, so can't wait go to the next project or part 2, yeah, so we're not going to tell you what's the project of part 2, because you need to wait and see it coming tomorrow, so yeah, so hope you enjoy the video, interesting, don't forget to subscribe, and remember, don't forget the video reaction, there will be in every day today until the next Tuesday, so we'll see you tomorrow, bye.